What up, world? Welcome back. I am masculinity architect Dwayne Langham. This is the Ave, Yolo Ave, the road least traveled. And you have just tuned in for another leap year challenge. This is day 58 of 365, cataloging a quantum leap in growth, progress, and self-development. So today I want to drop a message and share with you concept I got from David Goggins' book recently, Never Finished. So glad I got this book referred to me because it's a powerful deep dive into the mindset of David Goggins, and it's a powerful motherfucker. And I just want to share what I got from one of his distinct lessons. He talks about, if you don't know who David Goggins is, go look into him. I'm not going to give a full synopsis, but of his latest book. Actually, I did give a review of it. You can go check that video out. But inside of that book, there was a specific story he tells about an experience. He does these super marathons, as I would call them. But there's the Moab 240 mile challenge. And so, spoiler alert, if you have not read the book and you don't want that ruined, stop right now. But inside of that, he talks about his first challenge of taking on the Moab 240 miles. The first time he did not complete. Now, why is that important? One, just to even get that, the type of individual who takes on a 240 mile challenge, that is a road trip in my eyes. You ask me, oh, who's calling the Uber? Who's driving? I'm a wheelman, so I'd probably be excited to drive it. But running, physically putting in the miles in one experience, what I'm guessing takes days, the training for it, just everything, period, right? Boggles my mind. But I say all that to say, in this example, he tells the detailed story and the lessons learned, because he's definitely a proponent, similar to myself, that life happens in the lessons, right? We learn in the lessons. There are no losses, there are only lessons. And when you take those L's, you get some big ones. Lessons, that is. And so in his first attempt at the Moab 240, he's ineffective. He does not finish. And he's the type of individual that did not finish, meaning did not qualify. He got taken out. Like I said, I'll let you read it. But in that, he still crossed the finish line. Now, what does that mean? Because his perspective of that, taking on a challenge so tall that he'd never done before, this was his first attempt, and to not finish, to train and to learn the lessons that he was missing, the mistakes he made, that all culminated to him not finishing, not qualifying, DNF. So that means all the effort, all the training, all the resources, all the time, having a team, whatever he did to prepare and take this on, he was ineffective. He failed. Now, as you heard me say, he crossed the finish line though. That meant even though he knew it would not qualify, even though he knew it was too late, he had gone off track, it wouldn't register, he still finished. And I say that because there's a lesson inside of this. Intentionality and integrity. Because when he did not finish and cross that finish line is where the growth happened, where we separate the boys from the men, if you will. You see, doing such a huge ordeal and coming in ineffective, there's a couple of ways that could have occurred crossing the finish line. For some, most, average, because even myself, I'm highly developed and dedicated health and fitness, I ain't tackling 240 miles. No thanks. Doesn't sound like fun to me. There's nothing I would be inspired to make that happen for right now. But to cross that finish line in the world of ordinary and average, hey, pat on the back. Kudos. You made it. You traveled 240 miles on foot. Salute. You were an elite motherfucker, top of tops. And for him, what was there was, I didn't qualify. I did not finish. DNF is what goes down on the record. It doesn't matter how long it took. It doesn't matter that you actually made it at some point. But that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to satisfy why he took it on. That wasn't enough to satisfy his intentionality and integrity. So what this man talks about is basically crossing that finish line at 240 miles. And for himself, oh, this is just the beginning. Why? Because my intentionality and my integrity, my word was, I'm going to do the Moab 240. And it doesn't matter how long it would have taken, but just to do it, just to complete it with intentionality and integrity. He crossed the finish line. He went 240 miles, but he did not finish. So do you understand, not only stepping up to that height, that level, what it takes to then say and dedicate yourself immediately. He tells the story of like clarity. Yes, I've done this, and this is just the start. This is going to be my bitch. And understand, he took the L. This thing took him out. He did not make it, literally. So yes, he got back up, pulled up his bootstraps, and crossed the finish line. But for him, and this is why it's truth, the real power is intentionality and integrity. See, nobody can see the whole story. Nobody can see the truth. That's the toughest part about being a human being. How you show up looks good to others, and others aren't there to see you in the dark times. Others aren't there to see you when the real character is forged and developed, when you're tested, when you're challenged, when you can tell everybody, I've done the Moab 240, I've gone the 240 miles, but for yourself, I did not finish. I didn't complete it in a respectable time, and I learned lessons from all the mistakes I made along the way. That's intentionality and integrity. And if you can understand on this, like, God level, honestly, this is just God tier performance, the numbers and what we're talking about. But this is David Goggins here, so respect, salute the man. To be the type of individual in your life that takes on an unsurmountable challenge and is defeated, but hasn't failed, hasn't given up, hasn't waved the white flag to submit. This is the best I can do. To be the type of individual that sees your losses as lessons and knows that a failure isn't a failure until you're finished, till you say it's over, till you give up and stop. You can always keep going. You can always try again. You can always get back up. So I invite you to look at in your life, your Moab 240, your bigger than life challenges. And maybe you've already put it down. Maybe you're in a season where it doesn't have alignment. Maybe you didn't have it as alignment. Maybe you did give up. I encourage you, pick it back up. For yourself, answer the question, did it have integrity? Did I give my best to my word? Can I do better? Did I learn lessons? Did I give up? Do I still want that thing? Is it worth going for? And having the intentionality that it is fulfilled with integrity, that thoughts, actions aligned, that what you said you're going to do is done. And no matter who sees it, no matter what anybody else thinks, you know for yourself who you are, what you're capable of, and that you completed what you set out for, even if it defeated you. I've got a test right now. If you know anything about cybersecurity, I'm currently studying for CISSP. Over in the UK, that is a master's degree, the level and amount of knowledge included. I took a 1-week boot camp, read the book from cover to cover, and some additional program exam simulators. I failed the first time, ineffective, and that was the only time it was paid for. And as I said, in a place of rebuilding my career, that is devastating. That fucking sucked. I learned the lessons of where I went wrong. I learned the lessons of where I didn't prepare properly. I learned the lessons of what I left on the table to make sure I could walk in there and mollywop that bitch. Own it. So I came back to the drawing board. I've been back at it, giving myself the time, the pace, the space. Also got to get the funds to pay for it, to retake that test. But for me, it lacks integrity. I'm not giving up. I had a dream and a vision. And yes, I've invested months and now months more to getting it right, to doing it again. And this is not going to defeat me. This is not the end. That's intentionality and integrity. I said I was going to do this. I shared it with people in my life. I dedicated resources, time, money, attention, effort, people who are counting on me. And intentionality and integrity, I've got the savings. I'm over halfway there to pay for the next exam. I paid for the new tools to help me study and sharpen the blade and be ready to kill this shit. I've made progress. I've made growth. I know a lot more than when I started in that 1-week boot camp. With the context being, I'm earning a master's degree in my part-time, and I'm not giving up. I'm not defeated. I have not failed. So I just want to encourage you, when you take on your Moab experience, that it has intentionality and integrity. I'm wishing you the best and only success. And in the meantime, I'm going to be right here, being the best version of myself. One could say beyond empowered. Question is, who are you going to be? I am complete. Peace.